my name is Jason Smits. I'm the equipment manager for University of Nebraska Omaha hockey team. I used to live in Quad Cities, which is Moline, Illinois, Davenport, Iowa, and they had a pro team there called the Quad City Mallards at the time. And I was working at the local hockey arena, and I would see them come over and practice, and I'd help their equipment guys unload the bus and stuff like that, and kind of struck up a friendship with the equipment guy at the time. And I kind of found myself, was like, hey, this looks like I'm kind of interested in this. Do you mind if I start following you around and start helping you out? And of course, he wasn't going to pass up the free help. And I started helping him out more on game days. And I was like, I could kind of see myself doing this for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before that, as a child, like in your childhood, was hockey ever a part of your childhood?
Not really at all, to be honest, because where I'm from, they didn't get an arena until the mid '90s, which I'm going to age myself, was in my teenage years, and so I didn't know how to skate. I knew how to rollerblade, but so hockey growing up was just never a part of my life until I turned about 15 years old.
Yeah. So when you start at the Quad Cities and you're learning everything for the first time, what was that like? What was that learning curve like in a first program like that?
Oh, geez. I didn't know any, because I was coming from it from a fan's perspective, right? So I had no idea about the before, the after, the during. I just, hey, like I show up for a game and sit in my seats at 7 o'clock and watch and, eat my food, and whatever. And like, this is pretty awesome, not knowing that, the equipment guy had been there since 8 or 9 in the morning already, and he's going to be there till at least, 1 or 2 in the morning. I had no idea about any of that stuff.
Right.
So when I first started following him around, like it was almost like, what am I getting myself into type of thing.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun that the day went by so quickly. It didn't even feel like you were working.
Yeah. So when you went from Quad Cities, starting there, how did that lead you to the next step?
So so everybody kind of catches a break, right? And my break was Muskegon is a team in the USHL, and they were coming in as an expansion franchise the same year as Dubuque, and they had an equipment guy left over from their pro team, and he quit almost immediately because he didn't like the practice schedule time. Back then USHL kids had to go to school.
Yep.
That now everything I believe is online. But we didn't practice until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon because you had to wait for your high schoolers to get out of school. Well, he was used to the pro schedule going at 9 or 10 or 11 in the morning, and he didn't like it, so he quit. And
okay.
There's no other way to say it, but they were desperate,
Yeah.
and I was looking to get into it, and knowing that I had zero experience and this was going to be my first attempt at it, they still hired me anyway.
Yeah. So then you joined the Omaha staff in 2017, fast forwarding a few years. Mm-hmm. What did you learn in Muskegon that allowed you to feel comfortable jumping into a collegiate program?
Oh, gosh. So like I said, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
Funny story, I used to come with the guys on the bus at like 5 o'clock and just be like, yeah, all right, so we play in a few hours. What are we doing? I never unpacked bags. I never cleaned up the room. I didn't sharpen all my skates until 5. Like, it was just, and then, but some of the guys were like, hey, like, this is the things you're supposed to be doing. Did you not know this? I'm like, believe it or not, no, I did not know this.
Yeah.
So then it was a crash course in how to do the job and, managing time, kind of learning how to work on very few hours, because that was buses. So you'd roll into a town at 3 or 4 in the morning and you'd set up. And so I wish it could have been a different way, but I wouldn't trade it for the world just because there's not that on-the-job learning experience was, it fell into my lap, right?
Yeah.
There was nobody else to ask. There was nobody, it was all on me. And then you learned how to do things and luckily back then too, and still to this day, there are plenty of older guys in the league that I could call and, just because they were from another team, they were still willing to help. They still wanted to help. I learned a lot from a lot of those guys back in the day and what I'm supposed to do and the expectations and the things like that I do. We laugh at it now, but I do nothing about.
Yeah. So what about the Omaha program caught your attention?
Well, just so the history of it, right? It's relative, believe it or not, it's relatively young in NCAA terms, but quickly, through all the hard work of people that were here before me, established itself early, often, and with the success and history, CCHA and all the other leagues that Omaha's been in, but they've always been competitive and always put a good product on the ice, and the crowds have always been amazing, no matter if we were downtown or if we were at Shy Health or now, luckily here at Baxter. We've always had great support, and when the job came available, I took a chance, and luckily I'm here still 8 years later.
Yeah, we'll get into that job exactly. So I could try and attempt to list all your responsibilities, but I'm not going to, because I'll miss a lot of things. I'm gonna let you do that. So for everyone to understand how many roles you have, can you break down from a minute the away team gets here, whether it's a Wednesday evening or a Thursday morning?
Yep.
How does that start your weekend, and what does that look like until that 2-game homestand is over?
Okay. Yeah.
Do your best.
Okay. No. Some teams do show up on Wednesdays. Some teams do show up on Thursdays. So I will be the person that will meet them here, whether it's 5 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning. I'll be the person that will come and let them in and help them unload their bus if they want my help, or if they have students. Sometimes they just say thanks and you can leave now. But I'm the person that lets them in. When a visiting team is here, I'm responsible for all their laundry. So I will do all their laundry on top of all of ours. And then we set up for them. So I would set up a visiting room with toiletries, tape, basically anything they ask for, I will do my best for them. And then they're set up on the ice as well. So set them up for pregame skate, set them up. Then between Josh and I, our athletic trainer, we set up the benches for the visiting team as well, and on top of our benches. So all that's going on with the visiting team, and then I have these 28 guys in here, so that I'm setting up for the 28 guys in here. And then I'm helping Josh and Mike Lewis, our strength coach, with whatever they need, and making sure the coaches are satisfied with whatever things they need for pregame skate, how our bench looks. So then there's all of our team laundry.
Yep.
And then I have to sharpen all of our guys' skates and make sure that they're ready to go for the game. The jerseys are up here, so that's something else I have to do. Luckily I don't have to clean here like I did in juniors, but there's a little bit of cleaning involved in straightening out and just making sure that when the first person walks in, that sometime around 3:30, 4 o'clock, the room is ready for them and presentable, and they walk in here and the place is spotless and ready to go.
Yeah. And I feel like we missed even the game. So that was my next question, because I know that's everything outside of a game. Now take us to when the moment the guys get here and you're making sure the jerseys are here and their skates are ready. Take us through a game day for these guys.
Okay, so we always skate. Well, Friday mornings we'll skate. So make sure, so that's a different set of jerseys. So they will have those up for them, so they'll get them ready to go out for that. And then afterwards, it's another round of laundry because they skated in the morning. Yeah. And then same thing with the visiting team. It's another round of laundry for them. And then once they leave, then it's kind of not so much a scramble, but just keeping one foot in front of the other and making sure that this gets done. Things get set up back there. I forgot about the officials. Sorry, guys. But I have to set up the locker room for the officials, and sometimes they bring skates down, and sometimes they bring some repairs down that maybe last game they worked in Des Moines, something broke, and I can fix that for them or help them out somehow. But sorry, guys. I didn't mean to forget about you.
That's okay. So we haven't even touched away games. So let's get to away games now. List it all out. You guys hit the road, and what's that look like for you?
Okay, so a lot of times we'll skate here in the morning, and then the guys always give me crap, but I'm always hurrying them up to get on the bus and hurrying them up to get moving. And I'll just use Western Michigan as an example. So me and whoever else coach decides, will hop on a bus, and we'll bus straight to Western Michigan and Kalamazoo. We'll get to Kalamazoo, and then we unload the bus, and we set the room up and get it ready to look something like this with the practice jerseys and all that, because we'll practice while we're there. So get all that set up, get all that unloaded, and then those guys will get picked up at the airport. Yep. And we'll get up in the morning on Friday and wait for them to get there and continue to straighten and put things away and get coach's room set up, training room set up, main locker room set up. All the skates, make sure they're ready to go, done, and organized. And anytime they walk in on Thursday evening in Kalamazoo, the room looks like this.
Princess treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And snacks, food?
Yes.
All
Yep.
you?
So on the road, Mike, Josh, and myself will go grocery shopping,
Yep.
and we have our list. Mike has it on his phone, and we know exactly what we're getting, and we know by now we know which grocery stores we like to hit and which grocery stores we avoid. But yep, we'll go grocery shopping for the guys and get bottled waters and all their different, little snacks and things for during before and during, in between intermissions,
Yeah.
some whatever supplements or fruit or vegetables or whatever they might want. We go get that done as well too.
Did they put that list together? Or is that a coach's list?
It's more of a coach's list.
Okay. All right. Well, I wonder, do you track how many steps you take or like calories you burn during these days? Like I watch you during a game day. I don't know if everyone gets to see you under here, but it's like a constant like this.
Yes.
Do you ever track? Like I know you have your watch on. Are you
I
looking?
I do actually. So usually on Fridays, it's nothing less than 22,000 steps and around 1,000 calories burned. And it's just walking. I'm not going in the back and doing push-ups or running a mile when I have a little bit of downtime. And then Saturday, which is a little easier day, it's about 20,000.
Yeah. Casual.
Just casual.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, you've been here for 8 seasons now. What do you feel like has been the most special part of getting to be a part of a collegiate hockey program?
It's the players, honestly, and the coaches that we've had and coaches I meet when we're on the road and other things like that. I mean, hockey really is a small world. I mean, it doesn't take, you don't need your 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to know somebody, who knows somebody who played with somebody. So it truly is a small world. But I still, Tristan Keck, who graduated here, sorry, Tristan, 6-7 years ago maybe, got a hold of me over the summer because he needed help with something like that. And that, that makes you feel good that even after all that time's passed, the guys feel like they can still lean on you for help or help you out with a question they might have or anything like that. But, I'm in my mid 40s now. These guys are in their low 20s to teens, and they keep me young.
Yeah.
They keep me energetic. I've learned a lot of things from them and words that I don't know what they mean half the time, but I absolutely love all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you are these guys like right-hand guy for 4 or 5 years of their collegiate career. If they need something, it's you. You're a contact point also too. What makes the relationships, you kind of already touched on it, but just there's been so many guys that have come through this locker room. What has made those relationships so special? Is it the contacting of them, like you said, after they leave here? Is it the kind of relationships you build from, their first day freshman year to realizing we've created a friendship by their last game?
It's just once people leave Omaha, and it's nice to, especially now with social media, it's nice to be able to follow everybody after they leave and see what everybody's doing, and it's almost like being a dad to all of them, where you're like proud to see, everybody in their career, and even not everybody plays after they leave here, right?
Yeah.
But they all go on to do something else, and a lot of guys are getting married, a lot of guys are having children with their significant others, and it just, they all grow up and they leave. But it's all nice to it's great to see everybody on that and them succeeding in their lives off the ice if they're not playing, and doing both if they still are playing.
Yeah, it's family.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been in other locker rooms, you've been a part of other staffs. What do you feel like makes this one so unique?
Just Omaha is kind of a big town, right? But it still feels small at the same time. So I'll go out, and if I'm at Hy-Vee and I have an Omaha hockey shirt on, most of the times people will stop me and ask me, "Oh, who do you know, or what do you do, or do you play?" Every once in a while I'll get a "Do you play?" and thank you everybody who thinks I look young enough to play. But I'll get those questions sometimes, and it's maybe in a bigger, even though Omaha is as big as it is, people still are interested. People still want to know. People still want to, we were at the game on Friday. Gosh, it was so much fun. Or that was a great win. Or that, wow, what an atmosphere. Just things like that when you're out and about, and people, people care, and people, they see it, and they want to ask questions. They want to know more about it, which is a great feeling.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people on this staff that do a lot of things that not everyone sees. They see the coaches on the bench, but there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. What's something that you would hope fans would know or get to see more often about how much does go on down here?
Well, like you mentioned, it's not just me. There's Mike,
Yeah.
our strength coach. There's Josh, our athletic trainer. And the three of us work together 70, 60 hours a week together. And, that wasn't something I knew coming into this either. That was another thing I had to learn. Like, there's no 40-hour work weeks anymore.
This isn't no 5 to no 8 to 5
no,
thing.
it's not an 8 to 5. But the amount of teamwork the three of us do together, it's not, yes, I'm not going to go help Josh tape an ankle, because if I did that, that would not be good for any of these guys. But, I'll help him when he needs it, and Mike will jump in and help me out when I need it. And I do some USA hockey things over the summer, and if it weren't for those two, I wouldn't be able to do it, because they cover for me when I'm gone for weeks at a time. So there's a lot of teamwork that goes into it. I think it would be really cool if the public could see what I do on a regular, day-to-day basis, because you're right. I mean, on an off day, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Josh is still here. Mike is still here. The coaches are still here.
Yeah.
So they work very hard as well, doing game film right now. None of the coaches are in town right now because they're out scouting, they're out recruiting. I mean, it's a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week. You get Christmas off.
Yeah.
But it's a 364-day job.
You're here 64.
Yeah.
When you guys come in, whether it's our freshman year or, as in today's age of college athletics, it's a lot of transfers. Do you feel like you hear them say that they feel very welcomed by the staff and just how much work you guys are putting in?
I think so. I think that's one of the things that attracts them to here is, and that's part of the small world thing too that we talked about, right? Like, I hope that, when these guys leave and they'll just be like, oh, hey, like, Mike, Josh, and Jason were great to me when I was there, and they were very welcoming, very helpful, and very helpful, and it was a great facility, and we were playing in front of at least 6,000 people every night in our building, and loud crowds and all that, and where they live off on campus, very nice camp, so I'm hoping that and I think I think you've seen it as the past couple of years is now the portal, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, is part of our lives now, and we've been doing really good, getting some great transfers into town here.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up with this. You've been doing this now for a little while. You've been here, you said 8 seasons. What do you feel like the team and being in this program has taught you the most?
Well, I'm definitely hope people will tell me that I'm better at my job today than I was 8 years ago. It's taught me that, I'm in on a lot of the meetings that the guys are in on too, and a lot of that stuff that the coaches preach and to the players, about professionalism and working hard every day and representing the program and all those other things. I know it's not meant for me and Josh and Mike in the back of the room, but it's all stuff that I hear, and it's all been absorbed, and it's all things I think about on a daily basis, and making sure that everybody's taken care of and that everybody has a better day than they did the day before. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, it's not always like that, but I recognize some days when I'm not in the greatest mood, and try to remember the next day to I gotta clean that up a little bit or whatever. But this is a place with high expectations for a reason, and it's something that as the equipment guy, I play a little part of that, but it's I hope to bring a positive and cheerful attitude every day and help these guys succeed to be the best hockey players they can.